Will the real Bitcoin please stand up? So, the crypto world, man, it's been on a wild ride, to say the least. But lately, that ride has felt way more like a straight-up free fall, and it's triggered this huge crisis of faith for investors everywhere. So, let's dive in and figure out what all this turmoil really means for the future of digital assets. Okay, to really get a grip on the sheer scale of what's happened, you gotta start with this number. $2 trillion. I mean, that is the staggering amount of value that's just been wiped out from the crypto market since its peak. A number that big, well, it forces us to ask some really serious questions, doesn't it? So how in the world did we get here? Well, the story of the last few months is pretty simple, and it's not a happy one. It's the story of a market in a truly historic freefall, one that's shaken the confidence of even the most diehard believers out there.
Okay, let's look at the numbers, because this is where it gets really interesting. Bitcoin. It plummeted over 50% in just 4 months. Think about that. And in one absolutely brutal week, the crypto market lost something like $600 billion. But here's the kicker. It wasn't alone. On a single day, the regular stock market, equities, lost about the same amount. And that parallel movement, that's the key. It's crucial, and it leads us right to the heart of the whole problem.
And this brings us right to the core conflict, the main event, really. We're talking about this massive widening gap between what Bitcoin was supposed to be and how it's actually behaving out here in the real world, especially when it's under some serious economic pressure.
You know, for years, the promise was crystal clear. We were told Bitcoin was a hedge against inflation, it was an alternative to regular money, something that was supposed to move completely independently of the stock market. But the reality we're seeing right now, totally different story. When the market gets scared, when tech stocks take a nosedive, guess what? Bitcoin tumbles right alongside them. This was the big test, and so far, it's showing us a very, very different kind of asset than a lot of people were expecting.
Which, honestly, is why this quote just nails the confusion in the market right now. Will the real Bitcoin please stand up? It's perfect. Investors are just left scratching their heads, wondering, what is the true identity of this thing? Is it that revolutionary financial tool it was promised to be? Or is it something else entirely? And all of this leads to this growing suspicion, this mountain of evidence, really, that Bitcoin is acting less like a stable store of value and, well, a lot more like just another super speculative tech stock. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's absolutely stunning. You have this massive run-up that starts back in October 2024. It rockets up to an all-time high. And then, boom, a crash so severe, it completely erases nearly 2 years of gains. It puts long-term investors right back where they started. The sheer volatility, it's just breathtaking. So, this is it. This is the big question right here. The one every single investor is now being forced to ask themselves. Is Bitcoin an inflation hedge? Is it an alternative to fiat? Or is it just another speculative asset that freaks out whenever the market gets scared? The answer is nobody really knows for sure. And that uncertainty, that's what's fueling this whole crisis of faith. Okay, so the market's behavior is one thing, but the human reaction to it, that's a whole different story. This crash has really exposed this fundamental split in how investors are handling the pressure. It's like a battle royale in your brain, pitting cold, hard logic against some really powerful emotions. Now, logically, a lot of long-term investors use a strategy called dollar cost averaging, or DCA. It's really simple. You just invest a set amount of money on a regular schedule, say every month. And when the price is low, like it is right now, that same amount of money automatically buys you more. It's a really disciplined way to basically treat a downturn like it's a discount sale. But, and this is a huge but, here's the catch. The logic of DCA is so simple you could teach it to a kid, but actually doing it as an adult, oh, it's incredibly hard. Because when you see your life savings just plummeting on a screen, your emotions are screaming at you. Sell, get out, stop the pain. And just like that, they betray your logical plan. And this really lays out the two mindsets perfectly, right? On one side, you've got the short-term reactor. This is the person driven by fear. They try to time the market, which usually means they end up selling at the absolute worst possible moment. But on the other side, you've got the long-term thinker. They just see this as part of the ride. They stick to their game plan, they weather that emotional storm, and they see the dip for what it is, an opportunity. So if all of this is starting to feel a little confusing, hey, you are not alone. This crash has exposed a pretty humbling truth, which is this. When it comes to predicting the future of crypto, even the so-called experts, yeah, a lot of the time, they're just guessing. I mean, think about this. Just 6 months ago, you had these super confident insiders declaring that Bitcoin would never see a price below $80,000 again. That was the new floor. Well, that prediction aged like milk, to say the least. It's just a powerful reminder that confidence and certainty are two very different things. And just look at the range of predictions flying around out there now. You've got some analysts saying the crash could keep going all the way down to $26,000. At the same time, others are predicting the next high is going to be a staggering $250,000. That massive gap, it just goes to show you that truly nobody knows what's going to happen next. So if the experts are just guessing, then who does know? It kind of raises this bigger question about timing the market in general. I mean, who actually has the foresight to make the right call at the right time? Well, that brings us to a really fascinating and kind of notorious case study from the stock market.
Okay, so check this out. According to financial disclosures, Nancy Pelosi's household sold a pretty big chunk of PayPal stock on December 30th. And what happens right after that sale? The stock takes a massive nosedive, falling 27%. The timing was so perfect, so perfect, that it potentially saved them from a loss of over $90,000.
And that whole situation led to the creation of this very cynical but also very telling quote, "Other than God and Nancy Pelosi, nobody knows what's going to happen in the market." It's funny, but it really underscores that deep sense of uncertainty that everybody else feels. Whether you're investing in tech stocks or in crypto, for the average person, it can really feel like the whole game is just a complete black box. And that brings everything right back around to you. With Bitcoin's whole identity up in the air and a future that's completely unknowable, it really all comes down to your own psychology. So the ultimate question this whole crypto crisis is asking is this: when you're staring fear right in the face, are you a long-term thinker or are you a short